Hey everyone, Brooke here. I hope wherever you are in the world today is treating you well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about protecting your mind. This is going to be a loaded topic, so this will not be my only video on this topic. I will have more videos, different things that I'm doing in my life to build my mental clarity, to really become stronger, more disciplined, and also the steps that I'm taking to cut out distractions in my life. I'm going to be talking in this video specifically about why I decided to stop watching true crime, the reasons why I did, what I think it has implication-wise, morality-wise, and just really like what I think about it and why you should consider cutting distractions like that out of your life as well. Now, before I begin with today's video, if you are interested in topics like this, if you are on your own health and wellness journey, or you're looking to switch careers, make more money, get into a new relationship, start a family, whatever it is, leave a comment in the comment section below, introduce yourself, and I look forward to seeing you around the channel. Now, with that said, let me jump into today's video. So like I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about why I decided to cut true crime out of my life. But first, let me give you a little bit of background on my relationship of sorts with true crime. And not to be confused with Missing 411. A couple videos ago, I talked about Missing 411. I do believe it's a separate thing, even though I guess some could say it possibly is true crime. It's more mystery. That's a rabbit hole, Missing 411. I believe that, you know, the people that cover it, specifically David Paulides, they're very respectful. They don't get into the details of the actual cases, other than if the person is missing or if they were found or what the very vague circumstances were around their case, and it more talks about what is out there. So Missing 411 is separate. It is also a rabbit hole I don't want to get too deep into because there's landmines everywhere, people. But true crime in particular, I'm talking about literally talking about cases, murders, missing people, just like a lot of stuff like that, crimes against all different types of people, children. That's what that encompasses true crime for me. So when I was younger, my father was a police officer. My mom was a big like true crime junkie before like true crime was even like a genre. She watched, I'm trying to think like mysteries. I forgot what it was. Unsolved Mysteries. This show called Snapped, Deadly Women, Who the Bleep Did I Marry? I mean, there was around like, what is that, like 2009, around there. That's when like, you know, like TLC, the Lifetime channel, all these different channels on cable would start talking or showing videos like this. They would start, you know, really leaning into this true crime genre. And I believe around 2011, 2012, that's when it really picked up on YouTube. And more content creators were starting to have channels based solely on retelling criminal stories, you know, on crime stories. And I think it's an extremely fine line that has been danced, pranced, and completely just obliterated into the sand about, you know, you want to have these people be remembered, right? You want people to like, you know, I guess know who the people were, you know, share the pain of losing the people, and, you know, it's crazy. So like when I was a kid, I would watch this stuff, and it was almost like I was fascinated with it, right? I couldn't get enough watching it. It would scare me, it would horrify me, but I would be very interested in true crime. So my sisters and I, we've talked about that. We would just, you know, that was kind of like just what we would watch in our houses, or in our house rather. So as I got older, I became more interested in it. When I found true crime on YouTube, I would binge watch true crime. I'm like, whoa, they have all these videos. You can just watch it, whatever. I'll be doing laundry, folding diapers when I had my diaper service. And I noticed that when I would get into like little binge sessions, because I would go like a while without watching it, and then I would watch it again, it would really affect my mental state. It would really affect my mental state. And it seemed to be with each story that I would watch, it would affect me in different ways, and it would keep like picking at me and taking things out of me. And my empathy bank was just, you know, I'm a very empathetic person when it comes to animals, when it comes to people, specifically people who are victims of crimes, violent crimes, all different types of crimes. And it really was like affecting me. And it's not something that I can even enjoy because it's morbid. People, you know, it almost is like now in 2023, people are like, it's hard to talk about true crime without talking about the elephant in the room of people like loving, you know, the content of true crime. You have people doing straight up mukbangs when they eat on camera, talking about true crime. You have people doing their makeup, talking about true crime. Like, it's just disrespectful in my opinion, you know? This isn't really a video though about the morality of true crime, even though it's definitely a topic that needs to be addressed. And some people have talked about it, but it's not enough. Like, I don't think it should be something that should be monetized. I mean, there's like a whole thing into it. But when it comes to like bringing that into your life, when you're watching like such severely negative content like that, it does like sit in your mind, and I do believe that it's extremely negative, and it's really bad for your mental state, and it's like in some way it's blocking good energy into your life. At least that's my opinion. You know, how do you consume of sorts content like that or stories like that, or you hear about like brutal murders and things like that, and then you're gonna go and like meditate, or you're gonna go and like do affirmations? Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? So I think it's really important to assess like what you're watching. And for me, true crime is it really messes me up. It really messes me up. Like, there are cases that just brings me to my knees when I think about it, especially ones with like children, older people, like, you know, just victims of like brutal crimes, you know, like, and it makes you question, like, it puts you in a state of like, how could people be so evil? You know, like, how could people do this to people? Like, it's just insane. And then you got companies like Netflix glorifying rather, like the Dahmer, making the whole thing about him, and like putting these people on like these pedestals, like they're completely psychotic, and they're, you know, scumbags, right? They're like awful monsters of people, but like you're kind of like glorifying them, if that makes sense, you know. And some people will be like, no, they're showing their crimes, they're helping the victims, but in reality, like, this guy is like, he's living on because of the heinous crimes he's committed against victims that people don't really talk about. They just talk about the crime, they don't actually talk about the person that it happened to, you know what I mean? So I find that like on YouTube specifically, there's a lot of good creators out there that it's like disgusting, like really disgusting. And I'm not even gonna lie, like, I report a lot of channels that I see come up in my feed because I don't want to watch them. I'll block them. And I guess because I had watched true crime a lot, like, I'll still get it in my newsfeed. I'm like, no, this is like the repulsive content, especially people that I know that are like disgusting with like just the lack of empathy for the victim. They'll have like 10 minutes of like the most gruesome crime, and then that's it. And it's kind of like muddies. Like, they'll mention the person's name or whatever, and, you know, Timmy Jones lived in Anchorage, Alaska, but this is what happened to him. It's like horrible, you know what I mean? And that's just like demonic energy, in my opinion. It really, really is. It's disgusting. And this is like obviously heavily my opinion, whatever, but there are people like Stephanie Harlow, who I feel like she's someone I'd probably be friends with, to be honest with you. But I don't even know how she covers her cases, but she's the one that I found that is the most like conscientious when it comes to like covering cases. But even for her, it's hard for me to like listen to stories, get to know the people through their stories, and then like be broken because of them, you know, of learning about their demise. So that's like my situation with true crime. It's I'm kind of all over the place, but it's hard for me to talk about why I want to get it out of my life, get it out of my mind, without talking about the problems with true crime. I believe that it's an absolute heartbreaking situation when anybody has that happen to them, a loved one, family member. It's horrible when that happens, you know, when you learn about these cases. And I do believe that there needs to be a sense of awareness. But I believe that bringing that into your life and, you know, watching content like that is, it's very bad for your mental state. And I think it does bring your mental, like, defenses down. It's making you vulnerable to attacks, so to speak, right? To attacks of, you know, being lethargic, or, you know, just being absent-minded, or, you know, not focusing on your goals, because how could you possibly focus on building a nice life for yourself, or, you know, winding down and bringing this into your energy and then going to sleep and then having that in your mind? And it's like, it just jumbles things around, you know what I mean? At least for me, that's how it works for me. So my biggest thing with my, you know, health, my wellness, my mental, which really is my mind. My biggest attack that I'm doing right now is on my mind, because I think that is what you do first, and then everything comes with you. You know what I'm saying? Like everything comes following that. But I think the single biggest thing for me is cutting true crime, is cutting things that, you know, while I'm doing laundry might be interesting, whatever, like, you know, like even learning, like I will say this, like not all true crime is created equally too. Like you have the, you know, like Stephanie Harlow did the Jared Fogle case, right? Or the Dahlia Dippolito, which is my favorite true crime case. No one dies, but it's like you learn about like the narcissism and like things like that. And that's kind of like a rabbit hole, because I'll start watching that and then it leads into like the death and stuff like that, and the, you know, the misery and all that other stuff. But I think it's interesting, like when you learn about stuff like that, but it's kind of like if you're someone that can watch a little bit of it and not get too absorbed, that's one thing. But if you're someone that gets literally deeply affected, like there have been cases that I've followed that I'll still think about and I can sob about, you know what I mean? Like really like Victoria Martin's, you know, like if you look her up, like I can't, like I literally, and I'll start to like associate with that victim, right? Be like, oh, my kid was this age. My daughter, she was turning 10, the same, you know, this little girl was 10 years old when she literally, it was like her birthday or the day after her birthday. Like just, I think about it and then it like becomes like reality. You know what I'm saying? You breathe life into it and it takes it away from you. You know, the biggest thing that you can do in your life, if you're someone that does, you know, I don't want to say enjoy true crime, but if you're interested in it, is to, I guess, be separated. Like if that really is a hobby of yours, be separate and watch it, and watch with empathy and you know, like understanding, and you know, then leave it. But for people like me, cutting it out is the way to do it. You know, I know that things happen to people every single day. I send my love, my prayers, I'm sorry, you know what I mean, my empathy, things like that. But when I watch stuff like that, it is awful. It messes me up. Like it really, like, and that's why I say I almost think it's like demonic, because it messes me up for days, where it shifts my entire perspective, and it's very hard for me to lasso myself back into, okay, we're here, we're doing this, we have to do this, we have to do this. I also eat like crap when I watch stuff like that. I'm lazy, I'm not working out, I'm not doing the things that I want to do, because I have that, like, my mind's preoccupied, you know what I'm saying? So protect your mind. If true crime's not your thing, and maybe watching sports, right? I mean, sports is, you know, that's whatever. I mean, obviously people watch things, right? They're interested in watching things. They're interested in being preoccupied, or, you know, just helping to have the, you know, white noise, time go by, drama. I mean, you have to look at the frequency of what you're watching too. I mean, you know, doing baseball, what's that, you know? I know there's people that are fanatics with baseball, but it's not like, I don't think it's like shifting your perspective. Drama, I think, is one that will definitely shift your perspective. Like there's like YouTubers that have major drama, like their whole career is drama, like a Trisha Paytas, you know, their whole career is drama. They do things to trigger people, people get offended, they go back and forth, you see the, you know, you see the rift, you see the negativity. It's just low frequency, you know, like it really is. It's distracting. It takes away from what you're trying to do. It's petty. I don't know. It's kind of like it feeds into like these like negative emotions and traits that humans have. You know, we're human. We're human. We get sucked into things like that, you know, and like I mentioned Trisha Paytas because I have a lot of problems with things that she's done, that she continues to do. And it's like, even for me, like I can't watch anything on her, because then I just get sucked and I get recommended all the videos. The algorithm on YouTube works perfectly, where if you watch one thing, 50 things follow, you know, because they want to keep you on that platform. And that's what's slippery slope about true crime. You might watch Dahlia Dippolito case, which I highly recommend, by Stephanie Harlow, 3-parter, fantastic case, but then you might go to a Chris Watts case, and you might go to different Casey Anthony case, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not, I don't know. For me, in my house, in my life, in my mind, I know what I need, and that's strict abstinence against things that take away from my goals. Sugar, no freaking cookies, no muffins, nothing, no cake, you know, like I can't partake in some of that, just do a little here and there, because it's not good for me. It doesn't, I fall back, I fall behind, you know what I'm saying? Same thing with true crime, like even a little bit, no, it's not good for me because it strings me in, you know, maybe I'm weak, but acknowledging that that's not good for me, I think is a strength. And I think cutting it out and actually really cutting it out is something that I think is important, and you need to monitor that yourself. Now, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of all over the place with the true crime thing because I have very strong feelings on it. If that's something that you guys are interested in learning more about, statistically, it's not good to watch. It's not morality. It's not good to watch. It's not good to patron. It's highly questionable that people have huge platforms, make a lot of money talking about the murders and deaths and brutal crimes against other people. They're almost like capitalizing on that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to judge, like I said, I love Stephanie Harlow. Like, it's not to judge the character of these people, but I question the integrity of that genre, right? So you have that. And now I want to talk about like why it's important to protect your mind, because I believe that when certain things affect you, when they affect you with what you eat, it affects you. What you watch, it affects you. The gossip, the things, the drama, whatever, that affects you. That takes away from, and not to get all woo-woo about like frequencies and stuff, but it is true. It is true. You know, it creates a landscape of a lot of weeds in your mind, you know, like it really does breed weeds. You got to look at your mind like as like a garden, and you don't want to have weeds grow in your garden. You know, you're focusing on making these killer sunflowers. Why are you bringing weeds into your garden? You know what I mean? Like, why are you just pick all the weeds, pick all the little bad habits, and have your flowers bloom. You know, you're really trying to get those banging watermelons this year, Brooke. This year, awesome pumpkins this year, incredible tomatoes this year. That's my goal. But you can't throw other things into that. You know, I can't throw a little bit of weeds here and a little bit of weeds there and a little bit of neglect here, a little bit of lack of water here, less vitamins here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole picture. And I believe that when you guard your mind, that's when, you know, you pull those weeds out. Now you have more life force into that sunflower. You stop eating like crap. Now you have more life force into losing weight, into your body, into your mind, into your skin, right? Into how you look. Like, when you don't bring negativity into your mind, now you have more energy and more life force to push into, you know, doing your goals, into the real goal setting, into making more money, into finding ways to have a different business or start another business or get out of your career or go somewhere else or get an education or get a whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn something new. That's what I believe protecting your mind is all about. It's also just the way that you talk with other people. You know, if you're watching these true crime videos or you're watching these things that affect your mood, that affects how you talk to people. That affects how you act to people. That affects your sensibilities, you know? And then you're constantly in the state of, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll definitely do this tomorrow. I'll feel better tomorrow. I'll stop drinking caffeine today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always in this like mode of like tomorrow. We don't always have tomorrow. We only have right now. It's important to protect your mind. So many distractions, so many different areas I can go down, you know, political distractions, right? You know, when push comes to shove, like, we're all people. We all want to live a nice life. We all want to just, you know, provide for our families if we have them, our pets, our loved ones. We all want to live the best life that we can. That's the biggest thing. And there's so many platforms, I'll say that by pinning everyone against each other, that's how they get ratings. You're being played. We're being played. Every turn we make, we're being played. Why is food so expensive? Why is good food so expensive and crappy food so cheap? Good water so expensive and, you know, bottled, you know, BPA water so freaking cheap. You know what I mean? Like, I can really go on and on and on. Why is, you know, electronics pushed and not books? You know, why are people, you know, staying in houses now and everybody's on video games and things like that when kids, you know, used to go to skate parks? Why are they closing more parks? Like, you have to look at the bigger picture. Everything is to keep you preoccupied. Everything is to keep your mind on other things other than yourself. And you have to kind of pull the weeds, bring the life force back into your mind, and focus on the things that are going to get you to where you want to be. And I talk to myself as well, please. I have so many distractions in my life. And if I'm not walking that fine line, like if I'm watching true crime, Monday morning hits, I'm like, damn, I spent my weekend watching this and now I'm in a bad mood, it affects my entire week. The weeds grow so fast, but the sunflowers take forever to grow. But when they grow, they're gorgeous. And they were truly a labor of love. And that's how you have to look at your life. You know, I share the videos that I share on my channel because I'm just trekking through, like Shawshank Redemption. I'm going through that pipe, you know what I mean? Like I'm just going through it. I don't care. I want to share where I'm at because one day I know I'll be out of that friggin' sewer pipe and I'll be on that boat one day. You know, if you guys know Shawshank Redemption, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's important to keep moving forward. Cut the distractions out, you know? Just work on your relationships with people, work on your relationship with yourself. And I believe that that's the only way you'll ever hit the goals that you want to hit. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a little all over the place, but I do hope you got something out of it. So I have cut true crime #1. That is the first thing that I'm doing. There are other things I'm doing that I will share in future videos. If you have any questions, if you want to leave some of your own comments, if you have your own feedback for me about this video, please leave them in the comment section below and I will check you back again on the next video. Take care, friends. God bless.